door. Well, why do they do that? They do it because they want to have a private conversation. They have some serious talking that they want to do, and they don't want anyone else listening in. That's what real personal prayer is all about. It's about getting off to yourself and having a serious, private conversation with God. Now, as I was preparing this sermon for this week, I asked myself, why do we call people? Why do we pick up a phone and call our friends and our family? And I can only think of a couple reasons. First reason is this. I call people because I want to talk to them. See, every week I call my mom. My mom lives out in Arizona. Every week I call her. And usually when I call her, I don't have anything particular to talk about with her. I don't want anything from her. I just want to talk to her. You know, usually we talk anywhere from a couple minutes to a half hour. And mostly I tell her how things are going out here, or she tells me how things are going out in Arizona, how my nephew, my niece is, my sister is. And I tell her I love her. And we hang up. I call her because I want to talk to her. In the same way, there are times I want to talk to God. I'll be driving down the road and something occurs that I figure that there's something I want to say to God. Or I see something that causes me to want to praise God. You know, sometimes I'll talk to God just because I feel like it. Because I want to. But there are other times I call God because there's something I need to talk to Him. See, I love God. And I often just want to talk with Him. But there are a lot of times when I talk to God that I really need Him. I need His help. So I put an urgent call out to God. Now, some people don't call God when they need help because they're afraid of bothering Him. Dwight L. Moody observed, some people think God does not like to be troubled with our constant asking. But the way to trouble God is not to ask at all. See, God is not bothered when you and I talk to Him about our little problems in life. In fact, He finds great joy in the fact that you want to share those little things with Him. So essentially, when I talk to God because I always need to talk to Him. You look at Jesus, that's what He did. Jesus was always praying to God. One person observed that in the Gospels, there are 17 references to Jesus' prayer life. And here they are. Jesus prayed often. He prayed early in the morning. He prayed late at night. He prayed all through the night. He prayed at the beginning of His ministry. He prayed when He chose His 12 disciples. He prayed before the confession that He was the Christ. Prayed before His transfiguration. Prayed before the cross. And He prayed on the cross. Jesus prayed before He began His public ministry. Before He taught His followers. While He was teaching others and after He ministered to others. Jesus prayed before healing the crowds, before feeding the 5,000, before healing the man who was deaf and mute. Jesus prayed before bringing the dead back to life. Jesus prayed for His friends, His disciples, prayed for all Christians. Jesus prayed for those who nailed Him to the cross. And now that He's in heaven, Hebrews 7:25 says He is constantly interceding for us. Now, if any of you know me, with everything I do, I like to have a reason for it. You know, with very few exceptions, everything I do, there has to be a reason for it. And it's the same way when I pray. When I pray, there has to be a reason. You know, I don't like to pray just to fulfill a religious obligation. I once heard a minister who said these words. Recently was a time when I stood in this empty building and told God that, frankly, I have no reason to pray to Him. I didn't need anything specific. I was fairly happy with my life and what God has done for me and my family. And what He's done through me as well. But I still sensed a need to be there in His presence. And then I realized that I needed to pray because I needed Him. I realized that I was nothing without Him. I understood I couldn't do anything of any lasting work if He wasn't in it. See, I may not have anything specific to say to God, but I know I need to be on the line with Him.